episode of Now Showing. I'm your host Abhijit Bhatt. The recipe to having a fun life is easy. एक कढ़ाई में दो बड़ी कटोरी मूवीज डालकर हल्की आंच पर भूनें। अब इसमें मिला दें दो बड़े चम्मच वेब सीरीज और एक ग्लास सेलिब्रिटी इंटरव्यूज। धीमी आंच पर आधा घंटा पकाने के बाद थोड़ी सी गॉसिप के साथ गार्निश करें और लीजिए आपकी फन लाइफ तैयार है। कुछ ऐसी ही रेसिपी लेकर हम आ चुके हैं आज के इस एपिसोड के साथ। सो विदाउट फर्दर डिले लेट्स टेक अ लुक एट व्हाट्स ब्रूइंग ऑन दिस वीक्स एडिशन ऑफ नाउ शोइंग। Param Sundari is like comfort food. Warm, familiar and deeply satisfying. Sharp, tense and addictive. Hostage is one series you don't want to miss. Celebrated lyricist Sameer Anjaan takes a trip down memory lane, sharing untold stories behind his iconic songs, including the reason why Shah Rukh Khan personally requested the song Koi Chahiye from Deewana. And a freewheeling chat with Surveen Chawla, Priya Bapat and director Gaurav Desai on their new series Andhera and the experience of shooting at Mumbai's haunted locations. Alright, now let's start the show with this week's hottest releases and recommendations. भाई अच्छी एडवाइस दिवाली की उस सोन पापड़ी के डब्बे के जैसी होती है जिसे लोग बार बार आगे फॉरवर्ड करते जाते हैं। और अब ऐसी एडवाइस लेकर आ चुकी हैं आर एंटरटेनमेंट एंड लाइफस्टाइल एडिटर तविशी पैटंदी, who will guide you to your weekly dose of actual धमाकेदार entertainment. Over to you, Tavishi.
Thanks, Abhijit. Hello, everyone. Wishing you all a very blessed Ganesh Utsav. This weekend, after full days of celebrations, I suggest just chill with a very sharp and most addictive political thriller on Netflix. But then, first let me tell you why you should head to the theatres for this very heartwarming Janhvi Kapoor Siddharth Malhotra love tale. We are talking about Param Sundari, a rom-com that's walked in like a much-needed breeze after weeks of gunshots, espionage and testosterone-heavy actioners. Yes, finally, Bollywood remembers that falling in love can be just as thrilling as chasing a villain through Europe. Directed by Tushar Jalota and backed by Maddox Films, Param Sundari wears its rom-com heart on its sleeve. No apologies, no shame, just pure genre comfort. Think Chennai Express meets two states, but minus the overblown drama and with a gentler pulse of its own. So what's the setup? Meet Param Sachdev, played by Siddharth Malhotra, an endearingly unlucky Punjabi entrepreneur whose startups have all gone start down. His father had enough, so Param turns to a dating app called Soulmates. Enter Abhishek Banerjee as the nerdy coder who promises this app can literally find your true love. Where does it send Param? Kerala. And that's where sparks fly with Sundari, played by Janhvi Kapoor. Now the rom-com rules are clear. Boy meets girl, boy falls for girl, girl's family wants her to marry someone else. Here it's Venugopal, her childhood companion. Add a ticking clock, some cultural clashes and plenty of coconut trees and you've got your recipe. But here's the fun part. Param Sundari doesn't just use Kerala as a postcard backdrop. The film dives into its backwaters, Onam festivities, Mohiniyattam, boat races, even Kalaripattu, and does it without making Punjab feel like an outsider. Both cultures breed together, which gives the film its heart. Performances? Siddharth Malhotra is all charm and tenderness, leaving behind his muscle-flexing days to remind us why we first liked him in rom-coms. Janhvi Kapoor is luminous. Her Sundari radiates grace and their chemistry works best in the quiet, intimate moments. Manjot Singh as Jaggi is the friend we all need. Hilarious but grounding. Abhishek Banerjee adds sincerity, while the supporting cast, Sanjay Kapoor, Renji Panikkar, Siddharth Shankar, Inayat Verma, round things off with texture. The romance beats, they hit where it matters. There's a serene river tour, a candlelight confession inside a church and the Pardesiya montage that might just make you believe in soulmates again. Speaking of music, Pardesiya and Bhigi Sari stay with you even after the credits roll, though the rest of the soundtrack is, well, serviceable. Of course, This isn't a perfect picture. The story is predictable. You can see the ending a mile away. Some jokes land, others not so much. And while the cultural touches are rich, they sometimes skim the surface. Supporting characters too often feel like sketches more than people. But honestly, that's just nitpicking. Param Sundari is not trying to reinvent cinema. It's trying to remind you what it really feels like to blush, to smile, or to root for love. And in an era of spectacle, that feels quietly radical. So verdict, Param Sundari is like comfort food cinema. Paneer butter masala for some, idli sambar for others, but always warm, familiar, and deeply satisfying. If you've been craving old school Bollywood romance with a cultural twist, this is your ticket. It may not surprise you, but it will charm you. And sometimes that's exactly what we all need. If you're looking for your next binge watch, Netflix may have just dropped the one for you. It's called Hostage. And in just a few days, it's already shot up the platform's global charts. No surprise, because this 5-part political thriller has all the ingredients of a must-watch. The series comes from Matt Carman, yes, the Oscar-nominated writer of Bridge of Spies. And once again, he plunges us into a world where political power and personal stakes collide. At the heart of Hostage are two commanding women, Suranne Jones as Britain's newly appointed Prime Minister Abigail Dalton and Julie Delpy as France's calculating President Vivienne Toussaint. Watching these two powerhouse performances go head-to-head is reason enough to tune in. Now, Dalton's story is almost like a fairy tale gone wrong. One day, she's persuaded by her husband, Alex, played by Ashley Thomas, to enter politics. The next, she's juggling a collapsing economy, a public health crisis, and then comes the gut punch. Alex is kidnapped in French Guiana. The kidnappers demand she must resign by tomorrow afternoon or lose him forever. From there, the series turns into a nerve-wracking game of strategy, compromise, and survival. Dalton's trying to save her husband while also negotiating with Toussaint over refugees stranded at sea and vital medical supplies. Every decision feels like checkmate. The ensemble cast is stellar. Dalton's daughter Sylvie urging her to step down, her frail father pleading for the same, and her private secretary, played by Luciane Masmati, who may or may not be trustworthy. Over in France, Toussaint has her own complicated inner circle, aides, rivals, even a troublesome stepson, all moving like chess pieces across the board. But what makes Hostage more than just a political thriller is its deeper layer. A sharp look at women in power. It's about how they are undermined, second-guessed, and vilified at every step, not only by enemies, but by the very institutions meant to back them. Visually, the series looks spectacular. French Guiana gives it cinematic sweep, and the pacing is relentless. Betrayal, red herrings, moral dilemmas, one after the other. Jones brings grit and vulnerability to Dalton, while Delpy is magnetic as icy Toussaint. Her motives just out of reach until the very end. The result? A gripping, high-stakes ride that asks you, what would you sacrifice for the ones you love? And what does it really cost to hold power? So, if you are in a mood for a smart, tense, and addictive watch, Hostage is a series you don't want to miss.
Thank you so much, Tavishi, for those recommendations. And moving on, Bollywood's ultimate musical, Aashiqui, which completed 35 years on July 23, is still known for its iconic songs. And up next, we have celebrated lyricist Sameer Anjaan sharing stories behind some of his most memorable tracks from Aashiqui to Phool Aur Kaante. He also reveals a special request Shah Rukh Khan had made for the song Koi Na Koi Chahiye from Deewana. In this exclusive chat with my colleague Vishal Chatkara, so check it out.
Sameer ji, आपकी फिल्म आशिकी has completed 35 years. It was a film which was popularly known for its music. और मैंने सुना कि पहले गाने बने और गाने गज़ल की तरह रिलीज़ करना चाहते थे गुलशन कुमार. What are your memories, sir, of writing songs for आशिकी?
That time we were struggling, काम था नहीं. नदीम, श्रवण, माई सेल्फ. तो हमारी एक फिल्म बन रही थी इलाका. उसमें अनुराधा पौडवाल जी गाना गाने आई. तो जो गाना उन्होंने सुना तो शी वाज वेरी मच इंस्पायर्ड. तो उन्होंने नदीम को बोला कि आप लोग गुलशन कुमार से क्यों नहीं मिलते. तो उन्होंने कहा दीदी हम तो जानते ही नहीं गुलशन जी, हमसे मिलेंगे नहीं, हम तो स्ट्रगलर लोग हैं, उनके पास तक कैसे पहुंचेंगे. बोली आप फिक्र मत करिए, मैं मिलवाती हूँ. देन शी कॉल्ड एंड वी वेंट देयर एंड वी मेट गुलशन जी एंड ही सेज कि लुक, अभी मैं फिल्में तो नहीं बना रहा हूँ, मैं म्यूज़िक बैंक बना रहा हूँ और मैं अपने डायरेक्टर्स को, प्रोड्यूसर्स को वो गाने सुनाऊँगा. अगर आपका नसीब अच्छा है, आपका गाना पसंद आ गया तो लग जाएगा, नहीं तो मैं इन गानों को एज ए प्राइवेट सॉन्ग, जैसे आजकल सिंगल गाने रिलीज़ होते हैं, मैं इसको रिलीज़ करूँ. चलो भाई, मरता क्या न करता, कुछ नहीं था. तो उन्होंने उस एल्बम का नाम रखा चाहत.
ओके.
और हम लोगों ने पहला गाना रिकॉर्ड किया, मैं दुनिया भुला दूंगा तेरी चाहत में. फिर लकली महेश जी आए, महेश जी ने गाने सुने तो उन्होंने इतना बड़ा कॉम्प्लीमेंट दिया कि मैं इन गानों के ऊपर एक कहानी लिखूंगा.
नाइस.
सो ही रोट वन स्टोरी एंड ही केप्ट द नेम ऑफ द फिल्म आशिकी. देन ही कॉल्ड कि आज सिचुएशन के हिसाब से भी एक दो गाने आप लोग लिख दो. फिर आशिकी का टाइटल गाना हुआ, अब तेरे बिन जी लेंगे हम, वो गाना हुआ. और जब म्यूजिक इतना बड़ा हिट हुआ तो उनको लगा कि अरे यार तो फिल्म तो लोग पागल हो जाए. फिल्म रिलीज हुई. आई कैन टेल यू, मैंने देखा अपनी आंखों से, लोग गाने देखते थे फिल्म में, उसके बाद बाहर निकल जाते थे, चाय वाय पीते थे, फिर गाना जब आता था तब जाते थे. सो फिल्म जब आ गई तो म्यूजिक इतना बड़ा क्रेज हो गया तो फिल्म भी चल गई.
You are a Guinness Book record holder for writing maximum number of film songs.
Yeah.
Now कितने 4000 गाने हो गए अब तक?
More than
4000 songs. The one story which I really like from the book is the story about the music of फूल और कांटे, जिस अजय देवगन की पहली फिल्म है. आप हमें बताना चाहेंगे कि नदीम श्रवण के नदीम है, how he was unhappy and he actually was hesitant to.
भाई नदीम को जब लव स्टोरी मिलती थी ना तो बहुत खुश हो जाते थे, क्योंकि उनका मेन फोटे था रोमांटिक गानों का. और जब ये कुक्कू कोहली साहब लेके आए ये सब्जेक्ट और सुनाया तो ही वॉज वेरी मच इंस्पायर्ड कि यार बहुत बढ़िया कहानी है. मगर जब एक बार कुक्कू जी उनको लेके आए अजय देवगन को और पहली बार नदीम ने देखा तो वो थोड़ा सा बोले यार मैं बहुत खुश नहीं हूँ लड़के से. अब भाई वो तो हीरो था, उसको लेना ही था. तो उसके बाद कुक्कू कोहली कभी उनको लेके ही नहीं आए. और नदीम टोल्ड कि यार सिटिंग में आप लोग आया करो, क्या मैं फिर वो हीरो की शक्ल अगर मुझे नहीं अच्छी लगे तो मैं गाने इतने इंस्पायर होकर बना नहीं पाता. तो अब मैं किसी और हीरो को विजुअलाइज करके तुम्हारे गाने दे दूंगा, अगर तुमको इसी को लेना लो भाई. पता नहीं किसी की डेस्टिनी के बारे में कुछ कमेंट नहीं कर सकते. एंड पिक्चर रिलीज हुई एंड नाउ द हिस्ट्री, रेस्ट इज हिस्ट्री.
अदर बिग एक्टर जिसकी पहले पिक्चर का आपने गाना लिखा था वो है शाहरुख खान. तो फर्स्ट सॉन्ग दैट ब्रोक आउट वाज कोई ना कोई चाहिए. आपने किताब में मेंशन किया कि शाहरुख खान यूज्ड टू कम एंड यूज्ड टू आस्क कि आप ऋषि भैया के लिए गाना लिख रहे हैं तो मेरे लिए भी एक गाना बनाइए.
बिकॉज क्या है दैट देयर आर द रीजन कि नदीम ऋषि भैया के बहुत बड़े फैन हैं. इवन जब डायरेक्टर आता था राज कंवर तो वो हमेशा बोलते थे कि तू पहले ऋषि भैया की किसी फिल्म का एक एक्टिंग करके बता तो मैं तुझे हिट गाने दूंगा, नहीं दूंगा. और वो बेचारा आता था तो ऋषि भैया की तरह एक्टिंग करता था. पहले सारे गाने ऋषि कपूर के ही रिकॉर्ड हो रहे थे. तो शाहरुख आए, उन्होंने एक दो गाने सुने तो उन्होंने बोला नदीम भाई हमारी तरफ भी एक नज़र करिए. भाई ठीक है ऋषि भैया तो कमाल महान एक्टर है, बट मेरे करियर का सवाल है यार, आप लोग दे दो कुछ गाने हमको भी हिट. तो नदीम को बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि यार बड़ा हार्ड वर्किंग लड़का है और इसको देखो म्यूज़िक के लिए भी ये इतना डेडिकेटेड है कि इसको ऐसा नहीं कोई भी गाना दे दो यार ठीक है मैं तो ना. एंड दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई ही इज देयर. सो उनको लगा कि नहीं यार अभी इसके लिए करना है तो करना है. और वो चूँकि एक तरह से शाहरुख का पहला गाना था और वो इंट्रोडक्शन गाना था तब वो उन्होंने दिया कोई ना कोई चाहिए प्यार करने वाला, वो टिपिकल बिंदास कलर जो शाहरुख का था वो उसमें आया। फिर वो गाना ऐसी दीवानगी देखी नहीं कहीं, इसलिए जाने जाना दीवाना तेरा नाम लिख दिया। और जब हम लोगों ने पिक्चर देखी तब नदीम ने बोला यार ये बड़ा एक स्टार बॉर्न हो गया, इस लड़के में बात है, उसकी आंखों में फायर था और एक जो बोलते हैं ना कि चेहरे पे कुछ कर गुजरने की जो एक ताकत होती है, एक हौसला होता है, वो नज़र आता था।
आपने जावेद साहब की बात करी, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि आपकी जर्नी में जावेद साहब का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है या एक अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूशन है कि कई फिल्में जो जावेद साहब ने छोड़ी हैं वो आपको मिली हैं। आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द फिल्म कुछ कुछ होता है।
नहीं, और उन्होंने गाना उसमें लिखा भी था, जो गाना आया भी, बट उसमें नाम उन्होंने नहीं दिया था अपना, दैट वाज कोई मिल गया। उसके बाद उन्होंने पिक्चर छोड़ी थी बिकॉज ही वॉज नॉट लाइकिंग द टाइटल। जो करण जौहर ने जो मुझे बोला था कि उनको टाइटल पसंद नहीं था। और जब मैंने पिक्चर की तो मैंने जावेद साहब से बात करके इजाज़त ली।
मगर उसका बहुत अच्छा किस्सा है जो मैं चाहूँगा आप अपने हमारे दर्शकों को बताइए, इज़ अबाउट योर फर्स्ट मीटिंग विद करण जौहर। जब आप उनके पास पहला मुखड़ा लिख के गए तो करण टोल्ड यू कि समीर जी मुझे लगा था कि आप यंग होंगे बट यू आर ओल्डर देन मजरू सुल्तानपुरी, ही सेड। क्योंकि जो आप लाइनें आपने लिखी थी, मैं अब आप हमारे दर्शकों के लिए आप पढ़ना चाहूँगा। आपने लिखा था, जुल्फ़ों के साए रुख पे गिर आए, शादाए मेरे दिल को बनाए, शबनम के मोती पल पल पिरोता है, क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है।
जी, तो ये इसलिए लिखा था कि मुझे लगा कि यार इसमें थोड़ी मुझे शायरी लगती है, क्योंकि आदमी जावेद साहब के पास गया था तो एक गहरे गहरे कुछ ख्याल चाहेगा। एंड ही लाफ्ड आउट एंड ही सेज कि सर ये क्या है। अरे मतलब भाई तेरा मुखड़ा है और क्या है। अरे बोले सर प्लीज़ मैं आपसे हाथ जोड़ता हूँ, मैं ये सब मुझे नहीं चाहिए। मेरी पिक्चर कॉलेज गोइंग बच्चों की पिक्चर है, जो आपकी स्टाइल है, जो एकदम सिंपल वर्ड्स आप लिखते हो, सीधे कहानी पे आते हो, मुझे उस तरह के गाने चाहिए। और जब मैंने वो गाना लिखा उसके बाद, तुम पास आए मैं मुस्कुराए, ही लाइक्ड एंड ही जम्प्ड कि सर मिल गया। उसके बाद भी मैं उसको कंफ्यूज करने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि देख करण ये अच्छा है बट ये बहुत सिंपल है। ऐसा ना हो कि लोग बोले यार इतनी बड़ी पिक्चर, इतनी कमाल की कहानी है, समीर ने क्या लिख दिया है। तो बोला सर देखिए, उस दिन मुझे लगा, मैं आपसे सच बताऊं कि ये बहुत बड़ा डायरेक्टर, उसका कन्विक्शन इतना कमाल था ना। ही सेज कि सर प्लीज़ डोंट कंफ्यूज मी, ये गाना मुझे जो चाहिए, मेरे किरदार इसमें दिख रहे हैं और ये गाना मैं आपको आज बोल रहा हूँ सुपर हिट है।
It looks like a Surveen Chawla Film Festival is currently underway on OTT space with one memorable performance after another. First, she captivated audiences in Criminal Justice Season 4, then in Mandala Murders, and now Andhera is the latest addition to her impressive list of roles. My colleague Shriyanka Mazumdar caught up with Surveen recently and got her talking about making Andhera and the types of roles she's being offered at this stage of her career. Also joining the conversation are actor Priya Bapat and the show's director Gaurav Desai, who shared some behind-the-scenes stories about creating the chilling atmosphere on the sets and filming at haunted locations across Mumbai.
This goes to the both of you. Tell me what drew you to this horror genre, because it's a very risky genre, so to speak. So, you know, what drew you to it?
The fact that it's risky. Okay. The fact that I hadn't been a part of something like this, but ultimately you decide on the basis of how good the writing, how good the script is. What kind of a team do you have putting this up together? The director, the makers, the cast. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's like that one recipe of this dish that you make in the kitchen, and you need to make sure the ingredients are right, they're good quality, they're measured in just the right quantity. So for me, it's like that. You know, it's the whole setup, it's the whole package that I think makes or breaks content. It's everything, especially because it's a risky genre, like we discussed. It becomes even more important that, at least to your own eyes or to your own understanding, it should feel right. And I mean, I would not pick up anything else as a horror genre than Andhera, really.
For an actor like me, I'm happy about this phase. I'm really these are not complaints, but I'm in a space or a phase where casting director calls you, then you go for an audition, you audition for that part, and then you wait and you wait and you wait to know whether you're actually getting that part or you're not getting that part. So with Andhera also similar things happened. They sent me a synopsis, a character brief, and they told me about the show, what it is going to be. I remember my first audition happened and then I waited for a long time. Then my second audition happened with Raghav sir. And I was like a little child, I was really waiting and hoping to see that yes in his eyes, that yes, this is my Kalpana and I want her to play Kalpana. And then that happened, and you know, from there the journey has been the smoothest, toughest, most exciting, and we had the most sleepless nights of my lifetime.
You know, what's been the biggest challenge in terms of directing a horror show? Making the actors believe that this is scary, or you know, creating the setup for the audience to believe that this is scary.
Horror, apart from comedy, is the most challenging
It is
genre
tough.
to do it well. And it's also highly technical in terms of the craft of it. But I think it's important finally to realize that you're telling a story and the layers that go into making it. If you do that well, the horror will communicate. And horror for an actor needs a far greater range, because today horror is not like the distressed damsel running in the woods.
And those jump scares.
Yeah. So jump scares are important, but they are not the make
The
or
crux
break
of it,
horror.
yeah.
It's the atmosphere, it's the entire layered storytelling that you're doing, the psychological baseline for that you create in your show. What is the hook? And I think for that, the arcs of the character and the emotion you are delivering is the most important thing. Then the technical part of it is something, we had a great team. The challenging part was getting this team together, getting the backing for a show which is so different, which is putting the science and the supernatural together in a world where they collide. And not a lot of people are doing that today. So to answer the second part of your question, the atmosphere is important. It's extremely important, but the communication of horror will happen if the actor just plays their part honestly and in that moment.
Yeah. You know, speaking of atmosphere, I have been told by your co-stars that there was some spooky business happening on the sets. So did you guys feel anything?
I think a lot of us have only stories from Mud Island.
Yeah. So that's what.
I think also because you have heard these stories from a lot of other sets, a lot of other friends about Mud Island.
So you kind of expect.
You kind of expect, and you start feeling that, हाँ यार तो कुछ है, मतलब कुछ तो होगा. But other than that, and that one more location, the hospital location that we shot on.
The hospital
what
location
about
was
that?
spooky. It was a deserted hospital. There was something just off about the energy of that place, you know, and all of us shot there. Of course, I shot everywhere, but it was, you felt it, right? I felt it. It had a very weird energy. Mukesh Mills is a location which is shut down now, which a lot of film units will have. That was in Kandivali.
Kandivali, sorry.
You found that also spooky? Yeah.
Okay.
Slightly, like. Also, it was the atmosphere that was created. Now again, I go back to the production design, the art design, everything. So you can't take that away from
it makes
there.
you believe into certain things.
Totally, and really helps when you're performing.
Yeah, of
in
course.
there.
Surveen, we've seen you play varied roles, very, very well received. You know, you tell us, how do you see that shift in perspective now from directors and producers? Do you now have these intense, you know, storytelling, these roles coming to you, or do you have to still sort of approach?
So I think that started happening. I don't know exactly. I can't point a particular time when it started happening. But if I may say, it's the last 5-6 years have really. I've seen a lot of faith by directors, you know, shown in me, and that's really heartwarming. And it also makes me strive harder and work harder. And I think the current phase is really just the manifestation of that, I would say. And yes, things have changed, not just now, but I think over a course of time. What changed from my end actually was the chase. The chase changed from my end. The chase to work, having an agenda to get somewhere changed from my end. I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to be on this set and enjoy working and enjoy playing the part with absolute utmost commitment and dedication. And just try to be present there, not thinking and focusing on, oh, how has my journey been in the past? And there was, I don't know, there was a shift in some sort of, in a way that was surrender.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
So there are things that I don't know. And if that's going to be the outcome of unknowingness, then I rather not know.
Well, that's it from me. Thank you so much. Both powerhouses in good hands, and the trailer looks fantastic. I wish you
so
all
much.
Thank
the
you
very,
so
very
much.
best.
And with that, we have come to the end of this week's edition of Now Showing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, चाय पीते हैं in a cup और time हो चुका है up. But worry not, for we'll be back again next week with some more amazing reviews, recommendations and interviews. Till then, this is me, your host Abhijit Bhatt, signing off. Stay filmy, stay fabulous.